Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Deeds and I'm so happy that you're here with me. So today I'm officially gonna start David Goggin's first challenge from his book, Can't Hurt Me. This first challenge is listing out your inventory of excuses. What that means is airing out your dirty laundry, anything that stops you from attaining the goals that you want, anything that's a hindrance to who you desire to become. This can range from things from your childhood to things that you deal with today. All right, so the goal of this video will be to list as many of my excuses as I can. I really think this part is important because if you can't be real with yourself in the beginning, then when will you ever be real with yourself? All right, let's get into it. Let's get into my excuses and my limiting beliefs that really got in the way of my growth as a person. I would say the biggest excuse was that I was a victim. I saw myself as damaged and broken, and I was looking for somebody to come and save me, to come and fix me, to come and love me, because I felt like it was unfair that I grew up in a house that didn't show love, that I grew up in a house that was mentally, physically, and sexually and emotionally abusive. I felt like I deserved to be loved, to be seen by somebody, and I was stuck as a victim. I was stuck in survival mode, waiting, and every time I got a glimmer of hope, and I would latch onto somebody, and when they inevitably disappointed me or rejected me, I would fall apart and blame them again, and then it would happen again and again and again. I could not look myself in the mirror. I could not face that person, so she wasn't to blame, but she was. I didn't feel like it was fair for me to take responsibility for what other people inflicted on me, and then all that with the fact that I'd have to do it alone, I didn't think it was fair. And so I just sat and waited for somebody and something to come, and it really never did. I went to the church. I tried to find family there. I put my leaders on pedestals. I was hoping to find relief from the pain inside there. When that didn't work out, I blamed them. I really needed external validation. I needed somebody to tell me it was okay to be myself. Yeah, so those are my excuses. I wanted to share a few stories from my past with you all. And here's a story that I feel embodies a lot of the pain that I held with me for so many years, and a lot of the anger I held with me for so many years. First story, I'm in high school. My mom comes into my room at 6 a.m. and is yell talking to me, telling me that I need to hurry up, that I'm lazy, yelling at how like something doesn't look right in my room. Of course, I'm hungry and hoping that my mom is making something to eat for us downstairs. But of course she's not. She is making food for her husband, my dad, for herself, and they scurry along, go to work. We're left to our own devices at home. At this point, I'm barely showered. I don't have any clean clothes, and so I just throw on whatever because I really don't care. Get on the school bus, and then I get to school, and I'm greeted by nobody else but little Timmy. Timmy, with all his friends around, starts saying, "Hey, water buffalo," obviously making fun of me, and I just smile and take it. This happens a few times throughout the day. Then I stay after school, maybe for band, maybe for basketball, softball, and maybe there's a game or a concert. Nobody shows up, of course. So I get home, it's 10, I'm hungry, I'm tired, and I just want to go to bed. Open my door to my bedroom and I see everything that was once on like a table on the ground, dressers pouring out, and here comes my mom. She says, you're gonna stay up and clean all of this up. Mind you, she's the one who threw all of these things out on the ground. And she also reminds you that she's already told your cousins, your aunts, and your uncles, making sure that you feel the shame. And I say something, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll clean it. And I slam the door. She says, keep the door open, and I don't keep the door open. I just close it because I need some time to myself. To her, that was the end. She came busting into my room, started hitting me, picked up a hanger, started hitting me again. At this point, I'm trying to defend myself because I'm not trying to get an eye poked out. He throws me onto the ground, or pushes me onto the ground rather, and starts stomping on me. At some point, my dad finally comes upstairs and asks what's going on. And she explains to him how I was being rude and a bad child. I apologized to my mom for what? I don't know. Probably for his transgressions, for his infidelity, but I'm apologizing to my mom for my existence at this point. So maybe it's 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m., and I finish cleaning my bedroom. After that, I go to bed, and at 6 a.m., my mom comes rolling in. You understand why I did not give a fuck about how I looked in the morning, because I was already beaten down so much by my family that, like, even though I got made fun of at school, I found it to be a refuge. And the most I could do was get myself up and go. I share that story because it really embodies like how I felt so alone all the time, and how I just felt like there was no refuge no matter where I turned. I felt like I was a problem. There was something wrong with me. And that mindset continued to follow me as an adult. Here's the second story. So we're gonna fast forward a bit to last year, where I'm starting to work on myself and I want to confront my parents. I start asking, do you remember the sexual abuse? And my dad gets immediately defensive, sends me a nasty text telling me how I need help, how I need to go see a therapist or a psychiatrist or both, and how he can come and join me and let them know about everything. I ignore that text and eventually go to my parents' house to see if we can work it out. My dad proceeds to say he didn't do anything and he doesn't understand why I'm having nightmares of him. But he's like, how about this guy? What about this guy and this guy? And he's my own father is naming off other men that have touched me. That weren't him, of course, but other men who have touched me. And to add insult to that injury, I just sit there and take it. I'm like, I want to feel like I have a voice. And he's like, you already have a voice. And I'm like, no, I don't. But anyway, to add insult to injury, he invites one of those guys over to the house. And I just sit there numb. Because this is my father. This is the guy that's supposed to protect me. I'm supposed to feel safe around this guy. And I don't. And he invites a man who molested me into the house. I just sat there and took it, because years and years and years of denying the reality of what we lived in made me just doubt myself even more, and made me question myself, made me think that maybe I was the crazy one, but I wasn't. And again, I'm sharing this to just help shape my story and help you see my family and help you understand where I came from. Last thing, there were a number of insults my mom would call me growing up that stuck to me like white on rice, and they became my identity. So I'm just gonna read them, throw them into this inventory of excuses. She would call me useless, worthless, wicked, evil, fat, ugly, dumb, stupid, and unlovable. I say those with such ease right now, but when your mother is calling you these names day in and day out, it has a toll on you. You start to believe that you're the scum of the earth. And I walked around like I was the scum of the earth. Those words, those excuses, they seeped into my behaviors in everyday life. I ended up inflicting that pain on my own sister, on some friendships, because those behaviors went unchecked. I needed relief. So the plan was to use education and make enough money to be independent and not to rely on anyone. And I did that. But after that, there were just no other plans, because the plan was to survive, and to survive meant to get out of that house. Now I'm working on the rest of me. There it is, guys. Challenge number 1 completed. Facing your bad hand, taking inventory of all of your excuses. Join me for the second challenge, which is the accountability mirror, keeping me accountable to the goals that I have set out in my life right now. I love you all. Until next time, bye.